Welcome to the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Naomi Meredith, a former classroom teacher turned K-5 STEM teacher and coach. With over a decade of experience teaching and a master's degree in STEM leadership, I'm here to coach you throughout the year to help you gain back more time to create innovative experiences for your students. We are rolling into the end of the school year, and what are some things that you can do with your students to keep them entertained but still learning? Here are 5 Makerspace STEM activities that you can do with your students that all involve things that roll. For me personally, at the end of the school year, doing Makerspace activities are really fantastic because it's pretty easy to gather materials, whether it's things that you have in your own home or in your classroom, or even things that you can request from kids that they have that they can bring into school. Likewise, it doesn't take a whole lot to keep the kids active and engaged, and these activities are perfect for that because there are lots of ways that they can extend these challenges to make them a little bit harder, or even for some of your students, there's ways that you can pare them down. So there's a lot of happy mediums in these challenges that I'm going to share with you. We're going to keep it as short as sweet as possible as I can. I know I always say that. I'm going to try my best. So let's get into it. The first activity is a cardboard straw maze. This is one of my go-tos and kids absolutely love it. All you need is cardboard straws, some tape, and some marbles. My little hack for gathering marbles is I love to go to the dollar stores near me, and they're typically a bag of marbles that are in the decorating section. So you can get a whole bag of them for very inexpensive. What you're going to do is pre-cut some cardboard from any shipments you might have had recently. That thick cardboard works very well for this. And you're going to have some squares of cardboard and some straws, and students are going to design their own straw marble maze. This is a great one because they have to think about, is there a start and a finish line? Are there ways for their marble to earn points when they turn the board? There are a lot of opportunities for this, and they can make it as big or as small as you will let them. Thinking about those points and those rules, you can add a lot of math connections with this one and keeping score, and students can play each other's games. The next STEM activity with things that roll is a paper plate roller coaster. All you need are paper plates, just those thin ones. You don't need anything fancy. Marbles, cardboard, and small paper cups. I like to have the paper cup option because students can use those to stack if they flip them around and tape together, because they can add some height to their roller coaster. And when they cut out their paper plate, they can create the tracks for their marble. This one might be a little more challenging than you think because they have to think about how they can add curves to the roller coaster, maybe add some loops, and maybe a way to catch their marble at the end. Storage might be a little bit tricky, so keep that in mind. But this is a fun one, and you can even have students collaborate. So if you don't want them creating their own, they can work on this together. The next STEM activity with things that roll is creating a cardboard wall maze. For this, you'll need some tape that you can stick to the wall. So painter's tape can work really well for this. Some masking tapes might do okay. It just depends on how sticky it is, whether it has enough stick or too much. So that's why I recommend painter's tape, and cardboard tubes, pieces of cardboard, cups, those types of things. And students will create a maze on the wall, again, that a marble can roll through. So things that roll, they are rolling around in this podcast. This one I actually proposed to students during COVID when I was thinking of things that they can do at home. And this has sparked so many of the options of easy STEM activities over the past few years. But this one's really cool because the storage part of this is on the wall. So if you're doing this at the end of the school year, you might be cleaning off your walls anyway, moving some furniture around. So this is a great time to do these cardboard wall mazes because all of the storage is on the walls. And if things do happen to fall off overnight, it is a great way for students to fix and modify their designs, not intentionally, but it does help with that. And the kids have so much fun playing each other's cardboard wall mazes and thinking of ways to get the ball moving faster or even slower in their design. One time I actually found a website where you can create a digital form of this, and it was really, really good. And I had kids do this as a STEM station, or if they were finished with their wall maze, or they would switch off depending on the group. I will try and find that link for you and put it in the show notes because it was really, really good. I created a QR code to that website, so we did use them on iPads, but you can use them on the computer too. The next STEM activity that has things that roll is creating a mini golf course. I posted on my Instagram at Naomi Meredith not too long ago where I said I stole all of my husband's golf balls and brought them into work so students could create a mini golf course for them. Now, I didn't steal all of them. He does golf a lot, but I took the ones with his permission of the ones that he just finds when he's out and about golfing, and it's the brands that he doesn't like hitting with. So I did take those to work, and I actually didn't bring them home. I asked him if the kids could keep the golf balls, and he said yes. So it was a good way to clean out our garage too. But this one was a blast. The kids, I think this is one of their most favorite ones I've ever done for them and for me. They created the cutest game with these giant pieces of cardboard and other supplies. Using those real golf balls, we used tissue paper, we used cups. They had to have a starting line and then obviously a place for the ball to go at the end. Some kids added hills, they added obstacles. And luckily, our PE teacher did have some mini golf putters that we could borrow during this time. Maybe there is a PE teacher in your area or even a high school teacher who might have these handy if you don't have any at your school. But this one was so much fun. And again, they actually could play each other's games and learn how to count in golf, and the lowest score is better. And the last STEM activity with things that roll is creating cardboard race cars. I do have a trick when creating these cardboard race cars where there's a way to attach the axle where the wheels can still move, but there are some really cool little things where you could buy axles and wheels online, and whether you have your students keep those things or you have them deconstruct their cars at the end and you hold on to the wheels and axles, it's definitely up to you. But I bought those types of things for my students, and then they use cardboard and other supplies in our classroom to create the body of their cars. I didn't have anything fancy for them to race. I just had giant pieces of cardboard that they could race their cars down. There are other things that you could purchase and buy, like race tracks that have timers, which are super cool, but extremely, extremely, extremely expensive. So unless maybe you know a Boy Scout group that has like a derby racetrack, you could do that. Maybe your school district could go in on one. Multiple schools can use it. You don't need it for the next activity, but this is a really great one where there are a ton of extensions that you can do math-wise, and the kids have a lot of fun with this one. All of these STEM activities that I explained can be found in my TPT shop, Naomi Meredith, where there are lesson plans that go with all of these, extensions, videos, and other types of worksheets to write down those observations. So definitely check that out. And again, everything will be linked in the show notes for you so you can roll smoothly into the end of the year. Have you tried any of these STEM activities in your classroom? Which ones do you want to try? Feel free to let me know in the comments or send me a DM over on my Instagram. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast. I would love to connect with you over on Instagram at Naomi Meredith _ or send me an email to elementarystemcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure to check out my website, naomimeredith.com, to see all the show notes from today's episode and shop my K-5 STEM resources. Any questions you have, needs for resources, or ideas for episodes, get in touch. I'll talk to you soon.